are we looking at?
Stupid battle droids, get out of the way! Hello there. This is General Grievous, and you are watching Southern Comic Geek.
Roger, Roger.
What is going on, YouTube? Southern Comic Geek coming to you with an unboxing video. That's right. Here I am again doing the unboxing thing ever so randomly. So before we get started with all this comic book goodness, go ahead and smash that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and the bell notification. So when videos like this go up ever so randomly, you are one of the first people to know and can make the conscious decision as to whether or not to watch it now or later. As long as you watch it, that's the important thing, and we appreciate you. Talking about people we appreciate, how about the list of channel members, people that are supporting the channel through their monthly membership, whether through YouTube or Patreon or both. We appreciate them, and most of these people are content creators themselves, and so if you see a name up there that you don't recognize, jot it down, and then after the show is over today, go check them out. Doesn't cost you anything to sub them up, give them a follow, hit their like button on one of their videos or some such like that, leave them a comment and all that kind of good stuff. And yeah, there you go. Well, it's also always a good time to save money. And if you want to save money on supplies, visit bcwsupplies.com. Use the coupon code SCG at checkout to save yourself 10% on your order. There is a link in the description below. And then I mentioned about the monthly membership. Now, it is not without its own benefits, right? Of course, you support the channel, and that should be benefit enough. But if it's not, or if you'd like additional benefits, how about monthly giveaways? If you're not familiar, if you are familiar, just pretend like you don't know this. And hadn't heard this before, but if you're not familiar, we do a monthly giveaway on this channel right here that's associated with those memberships and or super chats. And so for every membership, you get 10 entries to win. So you theoretically, there's 2 memberships, so theoretically you have 20 entries with both memberships, or 1 entry per $1 of super chat given in live shows like this or premieres on the channel during the month. At the end of the month or the first part of the next month, we put all those names on a wheel, we spin it to win it, and we see one lucky person walks away with a prize. Now, we've had Uncanny X-Men 266s, Ultimate Fallout 4s, X-Men 4s, and all that kind of good stuff. This month, especially if you're a Spidey fan, you might want to get in on this because it's an Amazing Spider-Man 252. That's right, the first appearance, at least tied for with the Marvel team-up, of the black suit. It is in an 8.5 newsstand white pager. And so, if, like I said, those are the ways that you can get in on that. Right there. So yeah, so just wanted to go live, do a little random unboxing out here. And if somebody joins us, fine. If you watch it on the rewind, as I said earlier, that's fine as well. The other part of today's show is that I am going to be doing an auction tonight on this channel. This is going to be at, I believe, 8 o'clock Central Time. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to have myself and 3 other sellers on there tonight, slinging some books, telling some jokes, having a good time. So if nothing else, come over there and hang out with us. As always, in the YouTube community, there's always other auctions out there, and that's fine. Each has their own little niche, I think. But if the amazing thing about technology is that you can open more than one tab. So please do that and come join us tonight over here on this channel. So appreciate that. Yeah, so let me show you what I picked up. So there is a comic book shop. I bought some stuff on eBay from them previously. And then there was an artist that I met way back 2 years ago. Well, 2019, yeah, 2 years ago, at GalaxyCon. Got a sketch done by him, and I went through kind of the succession of things, how things fell, as I went to his Instagram, and then it said, okay, for sketches and stuff, and it turns out the same comic shop that facilitates his and other artists' sketch business and sells their art for them and all this other kind of stuff. I didn't really realize they were connected. What is going on, Lisa Noble, one of the channel members, and certainly one that holds some fire when it comes to those indie books over on her Instagram. So appreciate you, Lisa, for showing up. And so found out this one-stop comic shop. So I ordered some books, most of which were in. There was one, the same artist of which I previously was talking about, had a cover coming out for Harbinger #1. Harbinger #1 is a Valiant title. Of course, you know I'm a Valiant guy. Do not know if I'm sold on this Harbinger yet. I've heard some bad things going into this, but maybe they tweaked it. Maybe it wasn't as bad as what they made it out to be. I don't know. Issue 1 ended up being, yeah, okay. But I digress. So it was already, everything else was in except for that one deal. And typically when you order online retailers and you order stuff like that, they will wait until that last thing is in so everything can be mailed at one time, and understandably so. Well, this particular retailer had indicated to me that, hey, this is like several weeks out, but we got everything else in. We're going to go ahead in this case and go ahead and mail all your stuff except for that one thing. We'll mail it separately when it gets in. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Appreciate it. I said, man, that is some good customer service. However, the stuff never came in. Eventually, when I got back from Maui, the one book that I had been waiting on, I had gotten notifications that it had shipped. And I said, well, I guess they ended up holding it anyway. What's the big deal? No big deal. So when I got back from Maui, it was the one book that they had sent, the one book that they had been waiting on for the rest of the time. Well, so I emailed them and said, hey, you say that I got everything. I don't. And they said, oh, man, I'm totally sorry. We had indicated that we had went ahead and done what we said we were going to do, which was mail the already in books, waiting on that one. So they checked on it and sent this out last week, and I got it today. So some pretty unique stuff here. First off is going to be a Turkish, or both of them are Turkish, Hulk 181s. So these are obviously more recent Hulk 181 prints. And that is the front of it. There is the back of it. Got a little approval seal right there. And inside is Hulk 181. Of course, so classic first page there. So nothing out of the ordinary. There are a couple of pictures in the back of some other books that they're releasing. The neat thing about some of the older, as foreign's become more mainstream, if you will, they'll probably be doing less of it. But back in the day, they had great, more regional type stuff that was relatable to that. You won't find that in these Turkish ones because they are relatively new and they're very limited in print. And check out, you hear that, the page quality is so much better than what the American versions are. Unfortunately, I'm not able to read them. This is it's just a recreation of the Herb Trimpe cover, John Romita cover. It's just a recreation of that one. Now this one's got a little twist on it because this one is Red Hulk, Maestro, and Weapon H. So a little bit of a twist, but it's still an homage. So I decided to pick that up. Now, this is also Shadow Man. Look at this, Shadow Man #1, which, by the way, is currently Valiant's best title. So if you like horror, you don't have to know a lot about the back history of Shadow Man to get in on issue 1. And they're only on issue 4 or 5 now, so you're not very far in, probably just in time to get the trade. Or if you read it digitally, I'm sure you can get that. Yeah, it's a pretty sick cover. Very indie-ish, very indie-ish. There were a lot of variants for Shadow Man #1. Even Clayton Crane had done some that were kind of a callback because Clayton Crane's first work was in Shadow Man back in the early 90s or mid 90s. Sorry. Back when he signed his name with K's. So he was Clayton Crane, K and K. So there was an homage to that. Jeannie Frizen did some covers for him. And this is a DeSantis or DeMattis cover. So it was pretty dope. Pretty dope. There you go. See, Lisa knows that art right there. That's right. Desardin. What Lisa said. What Lisa said. What is going on, Amy and Kevin? What is going on? How are y'all doing? So yeah, wanted to pick that up while I was getting this other stuff, and I'll show kind of the resolution, if you will, to the aforementioned problem. But I'm going to show these books that I had ordered first. I didn't realize that this was a thicker one, and I'm not really a big fan of CGC's thicker cases. However, this one's done fairly well. This is the Immortal Hulk #1. Obviously, this is a callback to the mentioned picture up here, which is King Size Hulk #1. So love the homage. And it is signed by... I'm not going to try to butcher that name, but it was signed by them on January of this year. This is the Turkey edition of Immortal Hulk #1. And so it is signed right here. So got good signature placement. And there are several versions of this. There's a green version. There's this gray version. And they're all pretty dope. But this one, what is going on for Reggie and Vigilante? What is up? This is the glow in the dark version. So these were limited, and so they got pretty expensive pretty quick. I was trying to see if you can kind of see with this black light I got where it glows in the dark, but pretty dope. Pretty dope. Yep. So that's the other thing that I got and from them. And so I did not ask for it. They said, look, appreciate you understanding, yada, yada. I'm going to throw you in some freebies. Didn't tell me what it was. Didn't ask me what I'd like. Nothing like that. So you never know. The guy hit the nail on the head with this. So check this out. Ninjak #1. So he obviously took the fact that I had ordered Harbinger #1 and ordered the Shadow Man #1 to say that he must be a Valiant guy. So he threw in Ninjak #1. This is the Jeff Parker version. So not Jeff Parker. Not bad. That's Jeff Edwards. I'll get it out in a minute. It's a Jeff. So he's the guy that I was mentioning that I had met. He's from Missouri. He was in the Louisville Galaxy Con 2 years ago. And this is his cover. It's the version of that. And then this is Exo Manowar #5. This is another one that he did. And maybe they took to the fact that not only did I order his Harbinger #1, that I would like his other stuff. Maybe that's where they got it from. It just happened to be that the stuff that he had done was Valiant, because he's done some G.I. Joe stuff. I actually got him to do a Grimlock for me. Me, Grimlock. No, boss, me, King. There you go, VV. But yeah, so this is the Harbinger #1 that I ordered, except I had the one with the trade dress. This is the Virgin version. And of course, they're on the back. And so he threw those in for free. Free. That spells free. And so pretty dope. What's going on, man? How are you doing? Appreciate you for stopping by, my friend. Then we got Batman 50. Picked these up from, let's see, who did I pick these up from? A YouTube seller, and they had a pull box, and most of the other stuff I put in the bin to sell. But this is one that it was Discovery Bay. That's who it was. And so I did a claim for his stuff. It was Batman 50, of course, the wedding that never happened. This is one of the 1,000 of variants. It was on the cheap, so I went ahead and picked it up from him. And I got these from X-Men Mike, who after selling all his X-Men might need to rename himself. I don't know. But this is a dope cover. If you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen me. And Mike even made a comment that, man, you didn't even you didn't even wait to get it before you were showing it off. That's right. So this is Phillip Tam, who does a lot of great variant covers. And this is actually a wraparound cover. He actually wrapped her leg all the way around. So there you go. So definitely a dope cover. He had it up for sale. I think then he got cold feet and didn't want to sell it. And I asked him if he had already sold it. And I bought some books from him. And so I asked him, since I already had some books for you, can we work out a deal with that? So he worked out a little bit of a trade, and then also the book. So I picked up he had a Women of Power lot up. I think it was on Sands' channel. I wasn't interested in the rest of the covers. This was the only one that I wanted. Uncanny X-Men, or Uncanny Avengers rather, number 7, the Rogue Women of Power. I ended up getting like the Squirrel Girl Women of Power and several of the other ones that they did, Hellcat, but I wasn't really interested in them. I'm going to sell them, but this is the one that I was wanting to put. Yeah, appreciate it. And Amazing Murphinator, who is frequently in the chats and was actually selling that night. Again, it might have been on Strictly's channel, or it might have been on Sands' channel, but either way, Spider-Man and his amazing friends. This is the first appearance of Firestar. Been wanting to pick this up, just never got the right deal. Got really hot, pun intended, really quick. When there was some speckety spec, of course, I think I still have her first appearance in continuity. This is outside of continuity, but this is her first appearance in comics. So I'm going to end up having to get a Spider-Man and a Green Goblin toy at some point to have a recreation of this cover, I think. But pretty dope, in pretty good shape. If I was inclined to maybe get it signed by the voice actors, which I've seen people do, or just signed by the artist in general, like Al Milgrom worked on that. He's a fairly easy signature to get. John Romita Jr. actually worked on it. That looks a lot different than the current one's done it. But yeah, so it looks really nice with the press. This could be like an 8590 candidate there. And then lastly, but certainly not leastly, if you watched my video a couple of videos back, you'll see that I picked up Absolute Swamp Thing number 1. This is volume number 2. So after picking up volume number 1, I quickly went on Amazon, and it was like $80 prime shipping, so 2 days free shipping. Picked up the Absolute Swamp Thing by Alan Moore. Alan Moore retcon Swamp Thing's origin, if you're familiar with that story. He is also the definitive story for Swamp Thing. What a lot of people know about Swamp Thing's history is based on Alan Moore's mythos of the character. First appearance of Constantine actually happens in this volume right here. And just really well done. The book's put together well. I never read the stories. I remember the cartoons as a kid, the cheesy, low budget movies from back in the day. I picked up the new Swamp Thing that's out by Ron V. Mike Perkins, but it's not Alec Holland. It's a totally different character. So didn't know a lot of the backstory, but this kind of fills me in on that. There is a third volume that completes Alan Moore's work. The original Lin Wine version. I'm going to get on that. Talking about that, I almost picked, let me finish this right here. Okay. So these volumes are really well done. It's not as great as sniffing old comics, but it does have an aroma of its own. And the other one has his eyes open, so it's kind of a continuation, if you will. It's really fuzzy, got a bookmark, really well done compilation. And then in the back, it's got different sketches. Bernie Wrightson's sketches, even back when he was doing the art and stuff, all in there. So that's pretty cool. So I'll probably be done with that this volume pretty soon, and we'll be ordering number 3 from the either the LCS or Amazon. pretty soon. Volume 3 is a newer one, so Amazon don't give you quite the discount that they gave on this one. I got the first one from a comic shop in Monroe, Louisiana, and I got a deal on it because, well, long story short, they got a deal on it, so I did too. What's going on, Michael Gallant? How are you doing today, good sir? So pretty cool, displays really well. But talking about Swamp Thing and talking about the OG series, although Alan Moore's, I guess, would be considered OG as well. I almost picked up a House of Secrets 92 today. And by the time I seen it, Instagrails was selling it. And if you're familiar with Instagrails, they're a third-party seller like Elite Comics. And so they have such a big following that if people are wanting to sell their books, they say, hey, we'll give a cut and we'll put it out to our following, mass market it and sell it for less than what probably eBay would sell it for. Hoarders Hide, another channel member. Appreciate you for showing up, good sir. But yes, House of Secrets 92. And so I wanted to know about House of Secrets 92 that they had and another book that they had. And so he quickly responded. So shout out to him for managing that mailbox there. And that House of Secrets was promptly sold. I'm like, dadgum, you posted this less than 30 minutes ago. So I guess that speaks to somebody being either lucky or that the deal that was to be had on House of Secrets 92. So it was one of those well-presented copies that presents better than what the gray gives it credit for. But the other big book they did have, we were able to negotiate a deal. And so I shall be getting that in short order. So yeah, I'll keep that one kind of secret and close-lipped. I will say that it is several first appearances in there, and there are some relatable MCU-ness, Marvel Cinematic Universe spec on these books. So, or this book that I got. Cole's Comic Claims. What is going on? Part of the burrito. Part of the burrito. You got one of them. 5. Oh, nice. Oh, okay. So you got a House of Secrets 92. That's what you're saying. Yeah, that's definitely a cool book. Now, a little bit of comic book trivia, and I don't know if I was just the only one that did not know this, or if maybe I'll pass it on to you, or you might be yawning and saying, I knew that already, like years and years ago. Okay. So the girl that's on House of Secrets 92, it wasn't just something that they created up. They got the likeness of the girl that's on House of Secrets 92 from Louise Simonson. So Louise Jones, or Louise Simonson, who's now married to Walt Simonson, who edited and wrote the X-Men books galore through the 80s and into the 90s. And of course, whose husband is, largely responsible for, or I guess responsible for, Beta Ray Bill and Throg and other characters in the Thor verse. And they together did a lot of the early X Factor comics. But Louise Simonson was the model, if you will, her likeness for House of Secrets 92. There you go. There you go. And where I learned it from was from the Chris Claremont documentary on X-Men, which was really interesting. So if you like Chris Claremont, if you like X-Men, that would be an interesting watch for you. But they talk about that on there. So she's one of the people that's interviewed quite often during that documentary because she was such an integral part of X-Men throughout Claremont's tenure. And so it's talked about on there. The more you know. I should have a little thing right now. Oh, man. What's going on, ME Comics? There you go. Okay, so I am full of lots of stuff, some of which I cannot repeat, but I am also full of useless comic knowledge. But anyway, that is that. Like, for example, did you know the voice of Lion-O on Thundercats is also the original voice of Count Chocula for the commercials? Didn't ask for it. and they say it's worth what you pay for it. So there you go. But yeah, that is. So House of Secrets 92 is kind of one of the ones after reading the Swamp Thing. You just kind of like, man, that would be a really cool book to have. Obviously, the creators, Bernie Rice and Lynn Wein, are no longer with us, so it's not one that I could get signed. I almost picked up a First Constantine not too long ago that was signed by both of them, even though they're the creators of Swamp Thing, but at that point they were not on the book anymore. That was during Alan Moore's tenure, like I mentioned. So Alan Moore, of course, he's a jaded old man now, and first with reason on something. But his writing style is certainly unique. But that is what I have to show off today. So for those of you who came in a little bit late as I'm wrapping up, I'm going to show off some of this goodness here. Some foreign variants, got some foreign editions, including this glow in the dark Immortal Hulk 1 signed. It's a Turkish edition. See how it's thicker. Has to have the thicker CGC case. But there is that. Spider-Man and his amazing friends. Yes, definitely Hoarder's Hide, Barry Windsor Smith. Of course, you know that I'm a Barry Windsor fan and collect the Conan that he did, the early Conan. I even got the Rune. Talking about Sands earlier, Sands reached out to me a couple of weeks ago and said, "Hey, I heard you're a Valiant and a Image guy." I said, "Well, I don't know about Image so much, maybe certain titles, newsstands in particular, but yeah, Valiant. But I probably got everything you're asking." Just to be honest with you. But he showed me some stuff. There are some books that are guilty pleasures. When I say guilty pleasures, I mean that I buy them just for the sake of having them. They'll never amount to much of anything unless chromium, of course, the value of chromium goes to the roof. I'm going to be a very wealthy man. But those Ninjak ones, the PSI Lords, the Turok ones, the Bloodshot ones, those type fit into that. So he had some of those. I picked up that, but he had a Rune Malibu. Oh, what's it called? It was the preview book, and it had Rune on the front of it. And Barry Windsor had done that cover, so picked that one up from him. Kind of an oddball thing, but yeah. There was a book that Monsters Barry Windsor Smith did. This is a big, thick book that he done. He wrote and drew it. And I picked it up off Amazon, zoomed through it. Really sad story. Well, if one copy of Turok 1 makes you wealthy, then I'm Warren Buffett style. That's for sure. Because I've got, 25, 26 of the regular copies, some of the golden copies as well. So, yeah, and then about the same amount on Bloodshot ones. Not as many on the Ninjak ones. People seem to want to hold on to those. Maybe it's the Joe Quesada cover or the Ninja thing. I don't know. But and the PSI Lords, I just don't seem to run into them as much, strangely enough, as I do the other ones. But back to Barry Windsor Smith. Monsters, if you are a Barry Windsor Smith fan, was a very good read. Yes. When you're talking about when Horsehide or Scott was talking about Barry Windsor Smith fits into that. Yes, he is a very strange bird, very strange bird, and has only gotten stranger with age. Some of it I would like to think comes from being jaded, from being, if you want to say, mistreated, unappreciated to the level that, he or Alan Moore gave to these said companies, Marvel and DC. Of course, I'm not going to rich in culture, rich in culture. But I'm not going to argue that point for sure. but they had the contract. They signed up for the gig. Who would have knew that it would lead to all the money that it has in the day of this multimedia age that we live in? Who would have knew? But I think that the big companies would have been better off, just for PR reasons, if nothing else, to throw some bones the ways of these creators. I mean, it's just another black eye. And for what? You would have been better off. Can't think of the guy's name, Ed Brubaker, with Winter Soldier. You would have been better off, throwing him some bones for Captain America, Winter Soldier, or Falcon, Winter Soldier, so either way, you would have been better off throwing him that than you would have been taking the PR beating. But I guess they're used to the PR beating. I think I may have told you, buying a Rune #1 Dynamic Force. Yeah. So that is a great point, because and you did mention that to me. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you bought one and then you told me about another one, but I remember you sending me the link for that, because Barry Windsor Smith, if you are a signature person, which I am, Barry Windsor Smith's signature is very hard to get. Dynamic Forces is one of these companies that has done over the years a lot of in-person or whatever signings with COAs, and got that Rune #1. Rune #1's not worth a lot of money, unfortunately. So, but they got Barry Windsor Smith to sign it. I have a copy of Archer and Armstrong #1 that's signed by him and Bob Layton. So definitely a rare find indeed. But if you are in the lookout for another Barry Windsor Smith, Scott is correct about that. Agu Rhythm dropping the 99-cent super chat. Appreciate it, Agu. Why don't we just do a hula dance for Agu? Matter of fact, Agu, come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. Just give you a hug. Or we can say thank you for making it rain in the right direction, Agu. What is going on in the northwest part of the United States? I'm sure it's raining up there where you're at. I guess it rains all the time. Even though the crow said it can't rain all the time. Can't rain all the time. And of course, with that super chat, Agu just got him one other entry into winning this amazing Spider-Man 252, which is this month's giveaway. So if you're interested in getting in on that, all you got to do is do a super chat during live shows like this. Every dollar super chat gets you one entry to win. Or if you just want to become a channel member, then you can do that and get 10 entries per membership. Little Rainy's raining sideways too. I do believe that. I think all I have are a couple of Rune ones and that piece of Deathmate art he signed. Oh, okay. Yeah, that piece of Deathmate art is signed, very, very dope. It is, I think, drawn by him, but inked by Jim Lee, wasn't it? So you're talking about two of my favorite artists. I mean, a lot of people, I'm sure there's not a lot of people that are out there clamoring for Deathmate, even Deathmate original art. But, I mean, that's just one of those unique and rare finds. Talking about unique and rare finds, last night, spoiler alert here. Yeah, correct. Spoiler alert here. So I had Scat Comics. Yeah. So it was a comic leaflet magazine, whatever. And it is eventually it became just like an ad publication, like you pick up the dime ads or whatever, but had art in it. So if you know TMNT, you know that it was one of these comics that Kevin Eastman found and got the idea to go to them and to show him them his art to see about getting a gig there, which they had decided that they really weren't going to go that route with the magazine or the comic anymore, that they were going to sell more ads because it was more profitable doing it that way. But they said, hey, you need to check out this guy named Peter Laird. And he hooks up with Peter Laird. The rest, they say, is history, because eventually they would get together and collaborate on this crazy idea about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So you don't find these comics come up because they really weren't collectible back then. They were just throwaway, kind of like your newspaper. Only your grandma and the hoarder down the street, keeps up with newspapers, except on like V-Day or something. But so these weren't really collectible, and you just don't run into them. I found one on a YouTube auction of all places and decided to buy it promptly. Worked out a deal for that, and then also got the first TMNT in color, which was an advertisement on the back of another publication. Bought that last night from Sans Group. So I've been picking up some weird stuff lately. As Scott likes to say, weirder is better. Still picking up my Batman. I don't know. I might stop at 150 and just say I've got 150 forward, but I don't know. As far as run collecting, maybe some Hulks here and there, but I've been largely picking up weird stuff lately. There's a piece of Liefeld Deathmate art on eBay for $3,000. I'm not that big of a Liefeld fan. I mean, maybe $3,000 if there's some feet in it. I don't know. Or maybe you pay $3,000 if there's no feet in it. So it'd be a better piece of art. New Age comics? No. Yeah, just weird stuff in that it's related to something that I like, but it's something that maybe nobody knew about, like that story I just told about the TMNT. Not a lot of people, I guess people that are TMNT fans might or might not know about that. I don't know. Just stuff like that. Gamma Rays Comics. What is going on? Oh, thank you. Yes, New Age Comics. Sorry. I just got home from work, doing an auction tonight, and I said, I got these books here. Let me go ahead and go live and see what's what. Yep. That's that. Let me show you. Right here for anybody that's interested, and for those of you who are willing to stay around and are not interested, indulge me. Talking about neat, weird books. Aggressively Relaxing has his own comic book, and it sucks. Yes, that was a very large pun. All right, let's see here. Matter of fact, I think he said that he was going to use that like in a review. Like everybody says Tyler sucks, my comic sucks. It might be. Maybe I can blame it on that. Let's see here. Let's show the picture of this here. Stevie B loves Valiant. I agree. And man, what's going on? Beckerman's up in the house, says, I love weird books. This man has got some crazy art. Matter of fact, just for you, Beckerman, I'm going to show that Phillip Tam Rogue cover that I just picked up from X-Men Mike. And it wraps around, the leg wraps around to the back of the cover. So I'm going to need to get one of those clear backing boards so I can appreciate it better. Let's see here. Yep, New Age 1. Yep, so this is New Age 1. This is the front of the book. And it actually probably would look. Scott has more. Yeah, Scott's got a lot of cool original art as well. This is the back of the book, and there's Fugitoid with the Ninja Turtles. What's cool is you can back then, of course, they didn't have color to their bandanas, but you can tell who they are based on their weapons. Except for this guy over here. Which turtle was it that had the Uzi? The machine gun? I don't remember. Mikey has traded in his nunchucks for a much more effective weapon. Yeah, he does. He's got some pretty cool Mary Jane covers too. Funhouse Comics. What's going on, man? The Frog Prince vlog. Yes, I recognize your name. You are not that far from me, good sir. How are you doing today? Taylor Winder, what is up in the house? Taylor, another artist in the community. What is going on? Jean from the north, the land of the north. All right, we got. I guess technically it's first color full team. Their preview or something. Turtles was drawn in color. Yeah. Yep. So talking about weird stuff, I just happen to have it right here too. Is this comic book sampler? So this picture right here is also used on Comics Interview number 27, which I also have a copy of. It's in color, but there are 4,000 of these things here. First printing, 4,000 copies. And as you can see, the deal, and they have several different art pieces in here by various artists, to include, but not limited to, Kevin Eastman and almost like a Conan piece of art right there. But then we also got, some Eastman goodness right there. I have a French Flash Gordon comic book, and you pronounced it right. Oh, there you go. Digger Jim up in the house. How are you doing, Digger Jim? Suck It, Old Man. It's the #1 selling indie comic book in the world about vacuums. That's right. Technically speaking. So I picked up that. Actually picked that one up. That's issue 2 of the Independent Comic Book Sampler, and this is issue 1. Cool little wraparound cover there, but it is not. This is from September of 1988. So very early TMNT goodness, and a lot. So like the Captain Carrot stuff and all that other weird stuff, I like to pick up that too. But there's some other Kevin Eastman art in here. The Turtles, I've seen it somewhere. It's in here. Oh, well, it's in there somewhere. It's like Prego. It's in there. Didn't know about any toy show in Laurel Saturday. Do tell. Hey, DM me on Instagram, Southern Comic Geek, all one word, and let me know about that toy show in Laurel, because I didn't know anything about it. Oh, dang. Calvin Cheerleaders movie in it. Wow. That's pretty dope. This is, show that weird. Here's the story. The Grimjack. So Grimjack number 26, first full color story featuring Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I got another one that's not even listed on this list, but it was pretty neat. Yep. All right, I think I'm caught up on the chat. So again, if you are interested in getting in on this month's giveaway, all you got to do is become a channel member. The links are in the description below to tell you the benefits of the Patreon and or YouTube channel benefits. But the giveaway for this month is the Amazing Spider-Man 252 newsstand copy, 8.5. And that is going to be the giveaway. And so every $1 super chat gets you in on that, or being a member will get you 10 entries per membership. So there is that as well. And at 8 o'clock Central Time, let me make sure I've got that time right. 8 o'clock Central Time. Yep, 8 o'clock Central Time. So for John's Comics with Kids, that is 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So, anyways, that is going to be the auction here on this channel. So go ahead and hit that subscribe and bell notification so you don't miss anything. Come hang out, come for the book, stay for the blast, either with me or at my expense, either one. And that would be cool for you to hang out and do that. So I had a guy contact me about the channel exclusive, which let me show that for anybody who is not familiar. Well, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take myself out of the chat, and then you'll see it, and then I'll come. So that is the Hulk 181 homage, Power Ninja Tunes #1. The lowest print of any of the Power Ninja tunes. There's several exclusives out there. And so there's also a guest appearance or cameo appearance of Deadpoo in there. So if you're familiar with the Deadpoo or Do You Poo stuff, you know what I'm talking about. But he's on the last page, last panel. So in Marvel's case, that would be a cameo, right? Hulk 181, Hulk 180. All right. But anyway, so somebody said, hey, look, I found out that you've got this cover. Do you have any left? And they were wanting the gold and the foils. Well, they're long gone. Well, they said, do you, I said, well, I got some of the originals left, the regular covers. They go, well, I just bought one. And so he bought one last night on eBay. That's a copy of the picture, but it's probably not going to focus. I'm not going to worry about it, but it went for $68. So it's like, wow, awesome. It went up. I said, well, that's more than what I charged for the originals. So matter of fact, I had some, they must be in the same kind of group because that is the third person in a week that has asked for one. And then the other two elected to just go ahead and get the regular ones. And like I said, that one paid $68 on eBay for it, plus shipping and applicable taxes. It was the other people were wanting gold copies. I said, well, there were 5 gold out there. I gave one away in a giveaway. I have one here. So there are 4 out there. One at least is slabbed. Feel free to contact. So lo and behold, he goes on the Instagram post and says, hey, anybody want to sell me theirs? Anybody want to sell me theirs? So, whatever. So that's all cool. So I appreciate everybody for hanging out with me today just for a few minutes. I say a few minutes. It's already been 46 minutes as I ran my mouth and rambled about who knows what. Do want to shout out the YouTube channel and Patreon members, people that are supporting the channel through that monthly membership. Again, if you're interested in all the benefits, not the least of which are the giveaways, the links are in the description below. Also, what's in the description below is a link to save some money on your supplies, or you can go to bcwsupplies.com and use coupon code SCG at checkout to save yourself 10% on your order. You can also, before you get out of here, go ahead and drop the hammer down on that like button, hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification. I do random stuff like this if you're not familiar with the channel, mystery boxes, comic book auctions, etc., etc. Who knows what I might end up doing? Just come over here, hang out, and again, laugh at my dad jokes. And so maybe you'll come here tonight at 8 p.m. Central Time, find a book that you've been looking for, and be like this little guy, yeah, and be all excited. Be all excited. Until next time, folks. Appreciate you all for hanging out. Until next time, keep reading, keep collecting. Adios.